What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka All Fires. Now, exactly a month from today is the official box office release date for Fire and Ash. And if the industry insiders are correct, and Marvel Studios doesn't break the form they've maintained throughout the Multiverse and Infinity Saga, we'll be getting the trailer online on their YouTube channel somewhere between now and then. Now, word around the industry for the better part of the last 2 weeks is that Marvel Studios actually cut 30 different versions of this trailer, knowing how important it is, and I suspect that the one they drop online and the one they put in theaters will be very slightly different, with an extra frame or two of a scene just to say, hey, that's the theatrical release, you should go see it in theaters. Still, as we're gearing up to break this down, we now have a leaked description of at least one of those 30 trailers, labeled as the apocalyptic trailer. We have the full description for you. We're going to read through it. It includes a runtime and huge reveals for characters that have not been confirmed yet. We're breaking it all down, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. Thanks to everyone who's been subbing lately and helped grow the community. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, I would just kindly invite you to do so. It's the #1 thing you can do to support us. Plus, it'll enter you for all the giveaways. Again, all you got to do is be a sub, leave a comment. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so this latest leaked description of the trailer comes from the Twitter scoopster Majestic. You guys can follow him under the handle at Majestic_UCM. He even indicates this was sent to him anonymously. So take everything again that doesn't come from Marvel Studios with a grain of salt. We give a lot more reverence to people who put their names on scoops, but even he's indicating there is some plausible deniability here. Take that as you will. This is the new leaked description. It says that the trailer is going to run 1 minute and 48 seconds and will possibly release on December 8th, 17th, and 18th. For the record, that's my favorite part of the leak because I truly believe it will be out at least a full week or two before it hits theaters. That's Marvel's normal modus operandi. I don't see why they would break that now. It goes on to say, quote, "The teaser begins with Dr. Doom's voiceover by RDJ. Doom speaks about his life of trials and suffering. Victor Von Doom appears in a cemetery in the rain, his face hidden, until the scene cuts with a flare, leaving only the silhouette of his suit. The screen transforms with a powerful explosion, and Loki's voice fades out. Thor appears on a vast coastline. Sam Wilson and Reed Richards look at the sky with fear, and Doctor Strange runs through a dark room as two universes collide. Cities are also seen being destroyed simultaneously on 2 planets. Doom says he will release the eternal trap in which he was imprisoned. Several battles led by Dr. Doom himself are shown, followed by another narration of his. After a mask falls on him, it is revealed that Doom's face is severely disfigured, with a large scar and a texture similar to burnt clay. The trailer ends with Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter emerging from a TVA-style portal and looking directly at the camera. Okay, so let's go through this with a fine-tooth comb as far as what's described. I'm surprised that they would say a sentence like, several battles led by Doom himself are shown, but it doesn't talk about the characters that are fighting in those scenes. That seems like the most important details of the whole trailer description, and those are left out. The sort of ambiguous people standing on a coastline like Thor, or Reed and Sam Wilson looking up at the sky in fear, that's also pretty much guaranteed, maybe not those characters, but a scene like that or scenes like that, pretty much guaranteed for the trailer. I think if we all wrote out our own guest description of it, at some point that would happen. I am not surprised there would be a voiceover by RDJ. I'm also not surprised that they would show his face, but in this description, outside of the Peggy and Steve reveal at the end, which we'll talk about in just a second, there's not really much going on in this trailer. Which, regardless if this is a true description or not, it does make me think about what Marvel Studios will do, how much they're willing to show, and if they will tell us anything about the story. And I think that that's a balance that Marvel Studios doesn't always get right, but the balance that they're trying to nail is how much enthusiasm, how much emotion can we evoke out of the audience with what we do show in a trailer, without giving it all away, and how much of the plot, how many of the thrills and twists can we retain without the trailer itself not showing enough. Of course, it's been different for different projects, because we know with Multiverse of Madness and the Marvels, right there in the last week, they basically showed everything in 30-second clips, daily teaser trailers. Why they do that? Obviously to sell more tickets. You can figure it out. I argue that that doesn't work because when it's in the last week anyway, seeing Captain Carter's shield or knowing the X-Men we're going to preview at the end of the Marvels wasn't going to sell any extra tickets. Topic for a different video. My point here being that that balance matters more now than ever. That's why they do 30 versions of the trailer. And I gotta think, listen, if you're pushing a trailer out a year early for a movie that you absolutely want to live up to Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, and will probably have a massive, maybe even a $500 million marketing budget, then yeah, you go ahead and make the trailer worth it. And so when we say, quote, several battles led by Doom, even though there isn't a further description of who he's fighting, I gotta think that, yeah, you don't want to sandbag this trailer. You don't want to play it close to the vest. And like the first Infinity War footage that showed Thanos throwing the moon at Tony Stark, you're gonna want to have a major moment that people are going to talk about. We can speculate about what that is over the coming weeks, and we actually have some crazy theory videos we've been working on forever. When I say we, I mean me. And as I talked about this previous weekend when I met some of you guys at the meet and greet, I gotta push them out before the trailer comes out, because once the actual footage and canon drops, some of those theories might go right out the window. There's a lot of stuff going on right now that I think is really up in the air, and with this trailer, I'm curious to see how many of those bullet points that Marvel Studios is going to want to nail down for us, because, you know, depending on where we're at in the theory crafting, how much of the people at Marvel actually pay attention to that, they could show us one or two key things in the trailer that could make a lot of theories irrelevant almost immediately. But what I will say here is that detail that we're getting a full minute 48 trailer, again, if any of this is true, means it's a full and proper look. It's not a 30-second teaser or anything like that. It's an actual trailer, which we all know we're going to be going over every frame of, and for at least the next 3 months until we get the next one. You guys let me know all your thoughts down below, though, in reaction to this, what you think about this description. And look, I'm curious, how much do you guys think that they should show in the trailer? Do you want to see the X-Men fighting Avengers? Do you want to see some of that stuff already played out so that you know that it's coming? They've done tests on this, and they say that audiences actually prefer to know so that they can go into a situation knowing what to expect and then have that expectation satisfied, rather than unknowingly going into a situation not being able to judge where their expectations at. I think that says a lot more about human beings and our nature than it does about art and how we experience it. Again, topics for other videos, maybe even another channel. Still, how much do you want to see in this trailer? I'm all ears as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, still giving away PS5s for every Marvel drop. That'll start up with Wonder Man in January. In the meantime, we've been doing rounds of the Fire and Ash tickets, so you can go see the trailer in theaters. Again, I think it'll be very slightly different, like one extra frame, but someone will record it and put that online as well, so they'll both be online. It doesn't matter. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the future giveaways, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos the same way we're doing here, so please be safe and vigilant across YouTube and wary of spam in the comments. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires, on all other platforms with original music under the name Allfires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again for real soon.